guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to Raid Lore Stories. Today's lore story is going to be for Belanor. So we know that initially Belanor and Xavia are a tandem duo. They're a couple in this game. Since then, Raid has actually changed lore story. So I am curious to see if Belanor and Xavia are still going to be a couple. So let's check out his story. Belanor gives the lie to some of the most cherished and embellished myths exported worldwide by the High Elves of Arabia. They would have the world believe that they have tamed their base emotions, that they are beings of pure calculating logic and reason, and that their society is orderly and obedient because High Elves are inherently superior as governors and as citizens. But such proclamations do not align with the facts of day to day existence. No matter what the Arabians say, High Elf rebels, dreamers, misfits, and mavericks all exist. Thanks to the charm of a dark elf named Zavia, Balnor joined this little discussed minority in the course of his duty at Fellwall's Wall. The wall is almost entirely staffed by auxiliaries from abroad, but high elves do live and work there in small numbers, mainly in administrative and supervisory positions. A small number of talented individuals sometimes serve as instructors for the defense forces and drill their foreign legionaries ruthlessly until they meet exacting elven standards. Belnor, renowned as a master marksman and tactician, was among these martial tutors. Not long after his first season in post, his mind became occupied by stories of an intruder whose silhouette had been seen darting about the walls. Curious, he took to nightly wanderings on the battlements. It wasn't long before his vigilance bore fruit. One night, while gazing at the vast dark forest of Durham from atop the wall, Balnor's eye was caught by something moving. He turned to see an astonishing sight, a dark elf woman standing on the wall, gazing mischievously back at him, and gently fluttering a pair of gray feathery wings. Stunned only briefly, he leveled his crossbow at the intruder and demanded her surrender, but she merely shot him a grin and told him she'd be seeing him again. With that, she darted away and made a seemingly suicidal drop into the Arabian side, only to glide to safety. Belnor could certainly have shot her down, but something stayed his hand. Instead, he merely reported the security breach as protocol demanded, which earned him ridicule and disbelief. A winged elf was, with magical augmentations or clever mechanisms not beyond the realm of possibility, but few believed the dark elves could develop such a technique without Arabian reconnaissance learning of it. But the dark elf and her wings were undeniably real, and she made good on her promise to see Belanor again. The next time was on her return trip from Arabia back toward Durham, and this time Belanor was prepared and lunged at her immediately. In their tussle, she told him her name was Zavia and she was surmounting Felon's wall to send a message. Dividing their people was futile, and elves deserved to be free. Their ongoing clash drew the attention of a nearby patrol group, and Zavia escaped. Belnor's second failure to apprehend Zavia cast grave doubts upon him, and rumors of reprimand or dismissal swirled. But Belanor did not care. He grew obsessed with Zavia, and in time he realized he was infatuated with her. He envied her freedom. He was attracted to her impetuous and carefree ways, and as his superiors deliberated how to handle her, he dreamed only of the chance to see her again. Who can predict or control love? Even the haughty elves must bend to its tempestuous forces. On their third meeting, Balnor confessed his affections. Zavia laughed, but not with malice. Then she kissed him and held his hand in hers. She told him to hold it tightly and led him to the edge. At that moment, a furious Ogren sergeant arrived on the scene and bellowed that Balnor would be charged with treason. But Balnor had made his choice, and, after embracing Zavia tightly, they jumped. By the time the Ogren reached the ledge and looked down, the pair were gone into the world of Outlary. Was Belanor bewitched? How did Zavia gain the wings that gained her the freedom to pass over Felwyn's wall? And does she have plans more complex and nefarious than simple disobedience? No one knows for sure, but in any case, Belanor has left his old life behind in search of a kind of freedom he could never have gained before. Okay, so this story does answer the initial question I had was if Raid kept these two as a couple, which it looks like they did. Now, the original lore story, if you guys have been following me for a while, is basically Belnor and Xavier kind of caught between crossfires of fighting between the High Elves and the Dark Elves. They both had kind of been exiled out into the desert, and while they were supposed to be enemies, they decided to work together. And in working together, they slowly started to kind of have affections towards each other, and then that's how they developed a relationship. So this story is, it's definitely different. I think I kind of like the original one a little bit better. But guys, drop me some comments down below what you think for the lore story for Belanor. I will have Zavia's lore story as well too, so we'll see the story from her side, and thanks so much for watching.